Flight 7 has wrapped up with thrilling achievements and an electrifying sense of progress. Yet the mission also brought some unexpected twists that have everyone talking. The FAA has shed light on potential issues with ship and announced a mishap investigation, raising questions about what happened and what's next for SpaceX. What led to this development? Why has the FAA stepped in? And how will SpaceX rise to the challenge? Don't miss today's episode of Great SpaceX as we dive into the drama, the discoveries, and the exciting road ahead. Flight 7 came with high expectations thanks to its many upgrades and new missions. One of those expectations was met when Super Heavy was successfully caught by the Mechazilla arm, a significant achievement marking the second time SpaceX has pulled off this feat. However, the journey for Ship was far more challenging. After Super Heavy completed its descent and landing, camera feeds did not switch to Ship as expected. Shortly afterward, reports confirmed that Starship had exploded. Stunning images showed debris streaking across the sky like shooting stars, creating orange-yellow trails that, while visually captivating, pointed to a deeper issue. The immediate question is whether this incident might cause any problems. It seems likely that the FAA will require a mishap investigation. But why? To understand this, we need to examine what went wrong with Ship. Issues become evident even before stage separation. At just 46 seconds after liftoff, a hole was observed in the payload compartment. Later, additional images confirmed a fire in the aft section, a detail SpaceX acknowledged in an update. SpaceX officially stated Starship experienced a rapid, unscheduled disassembly during its ascent burn. Teams will continue to review data from today's flight test to better understand the root cause. Elon Musk provided further insights, tweeting, "Preliminary indication is that we had an oxygen/fuel leak in the cavity above the ship engine firewall that was large enough to build pressure in excess of the vent capacity. It appears that a fuel leak, a frequent challenge in aerospace engineering, was at the heart of the problem. The leak likely caused fuel to accumulate and increase pressure in this area. This may have resulted from the changes introduced in the V2 design, which differs significantly from the earlier V1 model. As with any new system, teething problems are not entirely unexpected. Realizing the potential danger, SpaceX activated the flight termination system to ensure safety. In response to this setback, the SpaceX team is already planning improvements. Musk elaborated, "Apart from obviously double-checking for leaks, we will add fire suppression to that volume and probably increase vent area. These actions are essential to mitigating future risks and ensuring smoother operations in upcoming flights. We will continue to monitor SpaceX's analysis of the incident and their corrective measures, so stay tuned to our updates to stay informed." Meanwhile, the FAA's involvement stems from concerns about debris and the flight trajectory. Preliminary reports suggest that debris may have fallen outside the designated hazard warning area. Some sources indicate that pieces of S-33 might have followed ocean currents, potentially drifting towards the coasts of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. SpaceX in its update maintained that Starship flew within the designated launch corridor, meaning the debris was expected to remain within the hazard warning area. However, the company acknowledged uncertainty about this conclusion. FAA disclosures further clarified the agency's actions following the mishap. The FAA briefly slowed and diverted aircraft around the area where space vehicle debris was falling. Normal operations have resumed. A debris response area is activated only if the space vehicle experiences an anomaly with debris falling outside of the identified closed aircraft hazard areas. It allows the FAA to direct aircraft to exit the area and prevent others from entering. Last year, the FAA introduced exemptions for certain issues that would not require mishap investigations. Unfortunately, the incident involving S-33 did not fall under those exemptions. All signs point to the FAA initiating a mishap investigation. This process could potentially delay SpaceX's timeline depending on how extensive the review is. What do you think? Will this mishap investigation cause significant delays for SpaceX? Reply yes or no in the comment section down below. Then be sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel to follow SpaceX's incredible development journey. With every challenge, SpaceX continues to push the boundaries of space exploration. Let's continue to witness history unfold, one ambitious step at a time. SpaceX continues to demonstrate its resilience and innovation as it advances from Flight 7, tackling challenges and preparing for future milestones. Their swift and comprehensive response to issues from the flight underscores their commitment to progress and safety. While some debris fell outside the designated hazard warning area, no damage to people or property has been reported, highlighting SpaceX's emphasis on community protection. The proactive activation of the flight termination system further reflects their prioritization of safety protocols. Flight 7 marked the debut of Starship V2, featuring significant upgrades. Naturally, some of these changes revealed compatibility issues, but SpaceX views such hurdles as opportunities for growth. In their official update, they explained, putting a redesigned and upgraded Starship through a rigorous set of flight demonstrations serves as a reminder that development testing, by definition, is unpredictable. They also emphasized, with a test like this, success comes from what we learn, and today's flight will help us improve Starship's reliability. Already, SpaceX has begun analyzing the root causes of the problems, working closely with the FAA to implement corrective actions. Encouragingly, the FAA's streamlined procedures, introduced before Flight 5, have significantly accelerated Starship launch approvals. Coupled with strong support from government agencies, NASA, and influential officials, this collaborative environment is expected to facilitate a timely resolution. Despite challenges with the Starship vehicle, much of Flight 7 proceeded remarkably well. Super Heavy performed flawlessly, ascending and landing on the Mechazilla arm for the second time. Previous issues, such as post-landing fires and communication antenna damage, were successfully resolved. Furthermore, critical infrastructure, including the launch tower, chopsticks, orbital launch mount, quick disconnects, water deluge system, and tank farm, all remained intact, showcasing the durability of SpaceX's systems. These achievements have bolstered confidence within SpaceX, with Elon Musk stating, "Nothing so far suggests pushing next launch past next month." Preparations for Flight 8 are already in progress. Ship is undergoing cryogenic testing at Massey, while Booster 15 is being fitted with engines at Mega Bay following its successful cryogenic test in late December. Leveraging data from Flight 7, SpaceX is making modifications and upgrades to these vehicles to ensure improved outcomes in the next mission. If all proceeds as planned, Flight 8 could take off as early as late February. A new era for Starship is rapidly approaching as both its stages aim to return in unique ways, making it the first fully reusable rocket in history. This groundbreaking development could begin as early as Flight 8 or, more realistically, Flight 9, the flight of Ship 35 that has been creating buzz recently. When we talk about Flight 9, the first thought that comes to mind is catching the Starship with Mechazilla's massive robotic arms. However, there's far more to anticipate than just this audacious maneuver. Flight 9 could also mark the first deployment of a useful payload, a milestone that will significantly elevate the Starship program. On December 28th, a fascinating update emerged. A Pez Dispenser system was spotted being moved into Mega Bay 2 at Starbase. This dispenser is likely intended for S-35, as S-34 appears to have completed production without this system. Moreover, the nose cone and payload fairing of S-35, recently seen removed from Mega Bay 2, suggest that the dispenser system will soon be installed before final stacking. The design of the dispenser remains consistent with previous iterations, featuring a robust frame of white steel bars connected by welding and screws. These bars support smaller reinforcements to ensure structural stability, creating an ideal platform for payload arrangement. What we see now may only be part of the system. The final design will likely include additional compartments, a payload lifting mechanism, and a pulley system for efficient deployment. The size of this dispenser seems unchanged, aligning with earlier prototypes. It'll likely fit snugly within the payload fairing of S-35, which, compared to version 1, has been reduced to allow for a larger fuel tank. Despite the smaller payload fairing, V2 boasts enhanced optimization, enabling it to carry more than V1. Recent imagery shared on social media has shed light on this optimization. While the payload fairing is smaller, the space within is utilized far more efficiently. Payloads are arranged in the Pez Dispenser to maximize the available room, filling the payload fairing from the common dome and extending closer to the methane header tank, now housed in the nose cone. This streamlined design increases Starship's payload capacity substantially. Previous estimates suggested that V1 could carry up to 40 Starlink V3 satellites. The new design for V2 could increase that number to as many as 54 satellites. Given that each V3 satellite weighs over 2 tons and spans 60 meters when fully deployed, Starship V2 will be capable of launching over 100 tons of Starlink payload. With smaller, more compact payloads, SpaceX could increase the capacity to between 150 and 200 tons. However, Starlink V3 satellites may not be deployed immediately. Initial payloads could include Starlink V2 minis, weighing 740 kilograms, or full-sized Starlink V2s, weighing in at 1.25 tons. These smaller payloads will likely allow SpaceX to test the Pez Dispenser system's efficiency before scaling up to V3 satellites. Payloads will likely be arranged in vertical stacks with 2 compartments in the dispenser separating the payloads for optimal space utilization. Satellites could deploy in pairs, starting with those on the bottom. This step-by-step deployment process will ensure precision and reliability critical for commercial missions. The engineering complexity of these systems reflects SpaceX's ambition to set new standards in payload deployment. For the aerospace industry, this approach holds the promise of drastically reducing satellite launch costs, enabling a new era of affordable access to space. These advancements could also accelerate global broadband coverage and serve as a stepping stone for interplanetary exploration. If all goes according to plan, the first payload launches and deployments could occur as early as 2025. Meanwhile, Flight 7 and 8 will serve as important stepping stones. Flight 7 will likely mimic the missions of Flight 5 and 6, focusing on catching the Super Heavy booster with Mechazilla's arms and landing the Starship in the ocean. If successful, Flight 8 will attempt to catch the Starship with Mechazilla for the first time. These flights may include simulated payloads, providing valuable data for future missions. For Flight 9, SpaceX could introduce Starlink satellites to test the Pez Dispenser system. While the number of satellites launched may be limited initially, this mission will serve as a critical validation of Starship's payload deployment capabilities. Regarding the timeline, the FAA is currently reviewing SpaceX's plan to conduct up to 25 launches from Starbase annually. If approved, SpaceX could achieve a launch cadence of 2 flights per month, potentially scheduling Flight 9 within the first quarter of 2025. Subsequent flights could gradually increase payload capacity, with SpaceX potentially mastering Starship's full payload deployment capabilities by late 2025. While some may view this timeline as ambitious, SpaceX has reasons to be confident. After 6 test flights, the company has demonstrated mastery of the ascent phase. Progress is now shifting toward refining the return process, with a focus on booster and ship recovery in Flights 7 and 8. Additionally, SpaceX has been steadily improving engine operations and payload deployment systems. Flight 6 marked a successful in-space engine ignition, and earlier flights tested payload doors, albeit not comprehensively. These incremental achievements lay a solid foundation for the first meaningful payload mission on Flight 9. The upcoming payload missions have implications far beyond just technological achievement. They represent a critical step towards SpaceX's long-term goal of building a sustainable human presence on Mars. Reliable, high-capacity rockets like Starship will be essential for transporting the necessary equipment, supplies, and people to the Red Planet. The reusability of both stages also promises to disrupt the satellite launch industry, reducing costs to unprecedented levels and paving the way for more ambitious projects. This could lead to the deployment of larger and more sophisticated satellite constellations, expanding the possibilities for space-based applications like climate monitoring, disaster management, and deep space observation. The potential for innovation is enormous, and SpaceX is well-positioned to lead the charge. Starship's advancements could inspire a new wave of investment in space exploration and technology, fostering partnerships and collaborations that will shape the future of the aerospace industry. This mission could signal the beginning of an era where Starship reshapes the aerospace industry. Its unparalleled launch frequency and massive payload capacity have the potential to revolutionize satellite deployment, interplanetary exploration, and even human space travel. Are you as excited about Flight 9 and its first significant payload launch as we are? If so, let us know by responding with "Let's do it" in the comments section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on SpaceX's incredible journey. SpaceX's progress in 2025 is already evident. Competitors such as ULA seem to recognize this momentum and have responded with ambitious plans for their rockets, though some of these ambitions might seem a bit far-fetched. For ULA, 2024 marked a pivotal year for the Vulcan Centaur. After years of delays and setbacks, they successfully launched the debut mission, CERT-1, at the beginning of the year, followed by the second, CERT-2, in October. Compared to previous years filled with stagnation and disappointment, these launches represent clear progress. However, challenges remain. Despite the positive milestones, the pace of ULA's launches has been less than ideal. There was a significant 9-month gap between CERT 1 and CERT 2, and now further delays have emerged after technical issues arose during CERT 2. These problems have prolonged the launch certification process, leaving the overall progress far below expectations. Even with these setbacks, ULA is setting ambitious goals for 2025. The company plans up to 20 Vulcan missions following certification approval from the U.S. Space Force. According to a report from Breaking Defense, ULA's CEO Tory Bruno stated that 16 Vulcan rockets are already in inventory, poised to meet this aggressive launch cadence. In addition to Vulcan missions, ULA still has a backlog of 15 Atlas V flights. These include 9 missions to launch Kuiper satellites for Amazon and 6 Starliner missions. Given that the Kuiper missions are scheduled for late 2025 and early 2026, it's reasonable to project that ULA aims for over 25 launches in 2025. This would represent a record-breaking year for the company. Yet, such a goal raises significant doubts. For one, Bruno's claim of readiness has yet to be substantiated. ULA has struggled to assemble vehicles efficiently before each mission, and each Vulcan mission depends heavily on the timely delivery of the Blue Origin BE-4 engines. Complicating matters further, Blue Origin is also gearing up for the debut of its own New Glenn rocket in 2025, which could strain its production capacity. Considering these factors, it seems improbable that ULA can achieve 20 Vulcan launches in a single year with its current capabilities. Even meeting a target of 5 to 10 launches could prove challenging. The first Vulcan mission of 2025, USSF-106, is unlikely to launch before April. With such a delayed start, reaching a high frequency of launches will be extremely difficult. In addition to Vulcan missions, ULA faces pressure to complete its other commitments, including multiple national security space launch missions in 2025 and 2026. Completing all these missions on time will be an uphill battle. Meanwhile, ULA is not the only player in the field. Rocket Lab has demonstrated remarkable progress in recent years and is poised for a strong performance in 2025. The debut of its new medium-lift rocket Neutron is expected to further bolster its position. Blue Origin 2 is gearing up for a critical year. The company plans to leave its mark in 2025 as New Glenn finally makes its way to orbit. After promising test results in late 2024, expectations are high for Bezos' aerospace venture. Yet the spotlight will undoubtedly remain on SpaceX. The company is targeting an incredible 25 launches in 2025, featuring groundbreaking missions such as catching Starship with Megazilla, deploying innovative payload systems, and advancing its orbital refueling technologies. These ambitious efforts are likely to eclipse the progress of ULA and other competitors. In many ways, 2025 represents a transformative year for the U.S. aerospace industry. After years of preparation, key players are stepping into the limelight, showcasing their strengths in a rapidly evolving market. The competition is fierce, and the stakes are higher than ever. How this race unfolds remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. 2025 will be a pivotal year in shaping the future of space exploration. While Starship developments indeed command attention, SpaceX has also achieved significant milestones elsewhere. The recent Blue Ghost mission, launched aboard Falcon 9, successfully deployed Firefly's Blue Ghost lunar lander and Japan's iSpace Hakuto R2. Both payloads are en route to the moon and are expected to land in the coming months. This mission represents another key contribution to NASA's Artemis program following SpaceX's role in the IM-1 mission in early 2024. The Blue Ghost mission also marked a historic milestone for SpaceX, its 100th launch from the iconic Launch Complex 39A in Florida. Falcon 9 accounted for 89 of these flights, while Falcon Heavy contributed 11. SpaceX celebrated the achievement on social media, stating, "Falcon 9 lifts off on SpaceX's 100th launch from historic Launch Complex 39A in Florida, carrying Firefly Space and iSpace Incorporated lunar landers to orbit." This accomplishment underscores SpaceX's integral role in the legacy of LC-39A, a site that has witnessed humanity's most ambitious space missions. Rockets like Saturn V and the Space Shuttle launched from this pad, with LC-39A serving as the starting point for the Apollo missions that first took humans to the moon. A decade ago, NASA entrusted SpaceX with the use of this historic site, and since then, the company has not only preserved its legacy, but has also revitalized its significance. Today, LC-39A handles all of SpaceX's crewed missions and serves as a launchpad for groundbreaking endeavors. Looking ahead, LC-39A is poised to play an even greater role in SpaceX's future. The site is undergoing development to support Starship human landing system missions, which will help return astronauts to the moon. With its increasing launch cadence and record-setting missions, SpaceX is solidifying its status as the most active operator at LC-39A, surpassing the Space Shuttle's historic 82 launches. The revival of LC-39A is not just a technical achievement, it's a symbolic return to the pad's storied legacy as a gateway to lunar exploration. This resurgence is a testament to SpaceX's leadership in the aerospace industry. Through advanced engineering and an unwavering commitment to innovation, SpaceX is transforming LC-39A into a hub for the next era of space exploration. From breaking records to building systems that redefine human spaceflight, the company continues to push the boundaries of what's possible. As we reflect on these milestones, it's important to recognize that SpaceX's journey is far from over. Each mission serves as a stepping stone toward realizing the dream of reusable rockets and sustainable space exploration. The achievements of Flight 7, the success of the Blue Ghost mission, and the milestones at LC-39A all point to a future where humanity's reach extends farther than ever before. The road ahead is filled with challenges, but SpaceX's relentless drive for innovation ensures that these obstacles will be overcome. Their progress inspires not only those in the aerospace industry, but also everyone who dreams of a future among the stars. Each successful mission brings us closer to transforming space travel into a routine reality. As we await the next chapter in this exciting journey, let's continue to support SpaceX in their bold endeavors. The progress made at LC-39A, the advancements in Starship, and the broader contributions to lunar exploration all highlight SpaceX's role as a pioneer. With each launch, they are rewriting the rules of space travel and proving that the best is yet to come. The future of space exploration is being shaped before our very eyes, and SpaceX is leading the charge. Together, we are witnessing history being made, one launch, one milestone, and one dream at a time. The stars are no longer out of reach, and with each step, we move closer to a bold and exciting future in the cosmos. This has been Kevin with Great SpaceX. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, keep looking up.